www.eccu.org.
An EC 103.1 sports presentation. Eureka College Red Devils football on EC 103.1.
We welcome you here to Rockford, Illinois for week 3 of division football here from Eureka for the Eureka Red Devils. Of course, that means the Regents coming in 1-1. They lost last week, are here hosting Eureka. It'll be the first conference game of the season. As a reminder, both teams are a part of the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference. Like I mentioned, Rockford lost last week 34-30 on the road at Elmhurst, and Eureka 29-6 at Westminster. Drew, you were there. What kind of went wrong for Eureka that forced them to not walk away with a win?
We had trouble stopping the run game and pretty much just stopping the offense in general. I thought actually us stopping the pass game was actually pretty good. It worked out really well in the first half, but then it got a little sloppy in the second half. That's when the wheels started falling off the rails. But the run game, Westminster did a great job of producing the run game the whole entire game. Not a lot of negative yardage when it came to that run game. And it just kind of seemed like the Red Devils checked out mentally and physically in terms of stamina. We talked about it last broadcast. It was very humid out, and it felt a lot hotter on that turf, so that plays a big part of it. But a little bit wet out here today as we are getting some rain, and we are outside today, so Eureka looking to go 2-1 today as they go out next week, and they're going to be playing Concordia Chicago.
Yeah, very excited. But Drew, you mentioned the run game, and speaking of the run game, that might be something that Eureka is going to have to do today. Aaron Locust, the freshman running back here for Eureka, he's actually the most recent Red Devil to rush for 50-plus yards in a single game. That was 2 weeks ago at home against Knox. He averaged 5.7 yards per carry. And, of course, with the way things have been going for Eureka, passing the ball, it just might be one of those factors where it'll be better to keep the ball on the ground, especially considering the fact that there is a very light chance of rain right now. But we are going to hope that that's going to pass over, and hopefully it'll be a nice, clean game of football. Something to keep in mind, too, for Rockford coming in. Like I said, both teams picked up their first loss of the season last week, and it will be the first conference game of the year for both sides. But quarterback, the senior for Rockford, Gage Hugert, he actually has over 400 passing yards on the season already, and he's throwing for 66%. We know that Eureka's defense has been very efficient, very effective up to this point. What do you think they're going to have to do to step in and beat a quarterback like Hugert?
Well, I think they're going to have to be ready for the deep ball. When you're throwing for 400-plus yards in a span of, 2 games already, people hardly get 200 passing yards in a single game. So I think that stopping, those big-time plays when you're trying to go for it on 4th down and 3rd down is going to be a crucial part.
Yeah, we'll look forward to Eureka being able to stop the passing game from Rockford, but it'll be Eureka to kick things off and start off conference play here in 2025. Rockford is going to pick it up right around the 20 and breaks free from a quick tackle and quickly being brought down. It'll be a short gain for the Regents.
Another thing I want to see for the Red Devils is the O-line stepping up. We saw last week at Westminster. Westminster's O-line did a great job of making sure their quarterback had time in the pocket and almost had no pressure. We saw it even when we saw Westminster take those shots downfield. It just looked so effortless because they gave their offense so much time to regroup and reset, and we haven't really seen that this season from the Red Devils all that time. And
the referee ruling the first pass of the game incomplete. Eureka thought they got a fumble, that they forced a fumble, but unfortunately it'll be an incompletion for Rockford, so it'll be 2nd down to kick things off here. Quick correction, though. It'll be Cartale Dickey as the starting quarterback for Eureka. The left-handed quarterback, there is his first completion of the game, And it looks like it'll be good enough for a Regents first down.
Yeah, back to that last play. We thought that the Red Devils might have forced a fumble, but receiver did not take 2 steps, and he has to take at least 2 steps for it to be considered a completion. He got hit as he was catching it. So it's why the official called an incomplete pass.
So it's ruled a very short third down. There's the flip from Dickey. It'll be the running back trying to take it for a first down. I think he has it. That was Timothy Bearden. So that'll be the first down for Rockford here in this one.
And we did mention earlier that there is a bit of light showers here, bit of a light sprinkle. And as there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, Dickey on the handoff. And there will be a penalty on the floor. Waiting for the official signal. And it'll be a false start against Rockford as they pick up their first penalty today. So things going pretty smoothly here for Eureka early on in the first minute of the ballgame. It'll be 1st and 10. Fake handoff, Dickey with a completion again to Bearden for another short game here for Rockford.
And so far, the offense we've seen from Rockford is very similar to the Red Devils. You know, with those short screen passes, the little flips to the running back. That's very similar to what we've seen these past couple of seasons.
Here's Dickey looking downfield, and he's going to be wrapped up. He took way too much time. It'll be the first sack of the day.
So we saw Derek Payton Jr. get in the mix. We also saw Jawan Evans get in there. And if you're familiar or tuned in here and there on the broadcast, you know that we talk about Derek Payton a lot. He's a key contributor on defense and to the EC 103.1 and TV staff.
On 3rd and 20, Dickey with a completion, but
late flag came in.
It'll be way short of a first down, and Drew, as you mentioned, another penalty marker on the floor. You'd like to think this one goes against Rockford. After such a strong defensive start for Eureka, we'll once again wait for the official call.
There's no foul on the play.
And the penalty is going to get taken away. Not sure if you were able to hear through our microphones over the PA speaker, but it'll be a quick drive for Rockford, and Eureka, within the first 2 minutes of this ball game, will have a chance to shine on offense. So Rockford getting set to kick it away, and for Eureka, looks like it'll be Jack Butler in the backfield waiting to receive. Well, we didn't talk about last year's matchup between both sides in the pregame, but Rockford did win that one 59-6. That was their senior day. But overall, Eureka is 7-2 against the Regents. So on paper, Eureka has the better odds, but again, Rockford has been doing a very great job at recruiting over the last few seasons. They have a lot of new players, strong defense, solid offense as well. So as always, it'll be a very challenging matchup between both sides, but back to the on-field play. Eureka getting ready to receive. The kick is up. Butler setting up for the catch. It is made. He's going to run to the 40, and he's going to be brought out of bounds, but pretty decent starting field position for the Red Devils.
Tackle on the return by number 41, Andrew Spillman.
Jack Butler looking to rebound after last game, and Westminster had a couple of fumbles on him, a couple of drop passes, drop balls on punts, receiving punts. So, and that's usually not like him. We usually see him be almost crisp and almost pitch perfect. So, hoping to see him bounce back this game. Native from Tinley Park, Illinois.
Yeah, Butler has been very solid over the last couple of seasons, entering his senior year this season.
Correction.
He's made an appearance in both games so far, so he'll be 3 for 3 in that aspect coming into this one.
There is a holding penalty on the return.
And again, if you're able to pick things up, there was a penalty. Looks like that one will go against Eureka, so they'll actually start on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it was a holding penalty, and
First and 10 from the 20.
I do believe that the penalty was forced back at the spot of the play.
Here's the snap. Warren fake handoff. He's going to knock that one in for a completion, I believe, to Delarian Rose.
Warren's pass completed to number 8,
So just like that, he's 1 for 1 on the day. And we've been getting a little bit more used to seeing Warren pass the ball compared to last season. Remember, Caden Frazier, he was more of a running quarterback, but Warren really stepping up here in terms of passing the football.
And we do see Warren run the ball a decent amount. We see him go 50-50 with a look back at the Lincoln Bowl game.
There is the first handoff of the day from Darius Warren. That was Aaron Locust, who we mentioned in the pregame. So a short gain for the Red Devils. It'll be...
They're giving him the first down, it looks like.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was actually a lot closer than it appeared to be originally. So the first down for the Red Devils, their first of the day. Just under 11 and a half left to go in this first quarter. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell with you. There's another handoff up the middle, and Locust, again, will be brought down. Another short gain.
With the tackle for the Regents, Joey Alvarez.
We were talking about it earlier, Matthew, basketball season is right around the corner. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited for basketball, but there is a lot of work that goes into it. Like you said, we were talking about it earlier, and just the double headers get you. They really do get you. Just think, I've only had 1 season of experience for basketball, so
they do get you, but we do enjoy the work. For sure.
Very grateful for the opportunity. Here's another handoff to his left. Finding some space past the 50, still on his feet, and finally being brought down is Rose with a huge pickup for Eureka.
Making the tackle for the Regents, number 25.
Well, we mentioned Eureka was going to try to keep the ball on the ground, and it looks like they're doing just that.
Just a simple run out to the left, and good change of direction by Rose.
I do have to make a quick note. There's actually a lot more Eureka fans here than I was expecting.
Yeah, not a bad drive for the Eureka fans. That's only 2 hours from Mackenzie Field.
Another handoff, Rose to his right, spinning, and he will be brought down for a short gain of maybe about 5 or 6 yards.
Jesse Gant, number 98, makes the tackle for Rockford.
So the trend of running the football continues for the Red Devils. Eureka in their white jerseys, Rockford decked out in purple.
Gain of 5 to the 34-yard line. It's 2nd and 5.
It'll be 2nd and 5 for Eureka. Warren again getting set up for the snap. Here it is on 2nd and 5. Fake handoff. Warren's going to take it himself up the middle. And a decent gain. Maybe just shy of the first down.
Nasir Lamar makes the tackle for Rockford.
And he did get the first down, so chains are moving once again.
Red Devils pick up the first down. It's first.
Also in the notes, homecoming week is coming up soon for the Red Devils.
Very true. They will be hosting Benedictine. And for a lot of the Red Devils fans, this year's homecoming theme will be Stronger Together. I believe they had the schedule released for that. The week-long schedule for that was released the other day.
I do believe you're right.
So a full week of fun activities for the students on campus. Here's the other snap. Running to his left, finding some space. Trying to spin out of the way, but being brought down is Lloyd after his first carry of the day. So Eureka with a very strong start offensively, knock on wood.
Yeah, Rockford's having the same problem we were having against Westminster.
And that's the importance of setting the tone early. I mean, once you kind of get your foot in the door and you're starting to make big plays like Eureka has been doing, it really sets the tone for the rest of the game.
Well, the other thing we forgot to mention, too, is 3 of Westminster's 4 running backs all chipped in for touchdowns that game.
Here's another handoff to the left, and once again a small gain for Eureka.
Well, like we were saying,
Sanders.
3 of 4 of Westminster's running backs all chipped in for at least 1 touchdown. I mean, when you have 75% of your running backs on your team scoring a touchdown, I mean, that just shows that it takes everyone, not just one person to get 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. It takes a unit.
7.5 left to go. Eureka here on 2nd and 4 on the 13-yard line in Rockford territory. There's another handoff. Sanders up the middle and just short.
Number 35, Sanders
But
with the carry.
again, Eureka very effective right now with the run game. So Sanders looks like he's going to come out for a little bit.
Gonna be 1st and 10, Red Devils.
Yeah, this is the first time in a while we've seen the Red Devils this aggressive on offense in the red zone very, very early to begin with.
Warren with another handoff. Crowder, he's going to be wrapped up by his legs and brought down. Maybe coming in a little too hot on that one.
Crowder with the carry.
Maybe getting a little too excited there. Eureka, Drew, like you just mentioned, this has been arguably one of their best starts on offense all season long. So it's understandable for them to get a little jumpy, but you'd like to, of course, keep things to a minimum in terms of penalties.
Right, and so far all running backs have been doing fabulous so far.
Warren throwing into the end zone, that one incomplete. Directly in the middle of 2 receivers for Eureka. So clock will stop at 6:25. Eureka on the 3rd-yard line in Regents territory. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Red Devils.
But this is what we want to see. We want to see, guys like Will Stephen Lloyd, Jones, and Jay Crowder. We all want to see them pitch in for good yardages. And, a lot of the times we see, none or only one or the other or just a couple. This is what you want to see. You want to see all of them pitching in.
Looks like there's going to be a timeout taken. So we're going to actually keep things here for this one.
Timeout, Eureka, their first charge timeout of the half.
But Drew, I have to point it out because it is a little distracting. Is that a drone in the air over the midfield?
That is a drone.
I think that's Eureka's or Rockford's.
It's hard to say. We do see the drone flying around a lot at Mackenzie Field. The first time I've seen one not at our field.
So both teams back out on the field. Eureka attempting here for a touchdown on their opening drive. Again, 3rd and 3 here for the Red Devils on the 3rd-yard line. 6:25 left to go here in quarter number 1. Here's Warren on the snap, trying to take it himself, pushing forward. He is wrapped up. Let's see. Let's wait for the signal.
I think he got down at the 1.
Darius Warren with the quarterback keeper.
And it looks like that is going to be just short of the end zone. But at this point, I believe Eureka is going to have to go for it.
I'd say go for it.
You have to. And I'd recommend Warren sticks with it.
From the 1-yard line.
We've seen Warren in this situation before at home against Knox, making the same play. And he's been quite successful on the quarterback keeper all season long.
O-line's going to have to step up big here.
Here's the snap. Warren's going to hand it off, and it's a Eureka touchdown. Sanders walking it into the end zone. And Eureka, the first out of these 2 teams to grab a touchdown, make it 6-0 Red Devils. Perfectly drew that play up. It seems like Sanders didn't really have any competition. He was able to just kind of stroll into the end zone.
I think Rockford was anticipating for the QB sneak, and
they're going to go for 2 here. Warren, another handoff. Sanders again. Helmets flying off. I think that one will not be good. So it will remain 6-0 Eureka. But either way, a great start for this Red Devils offense.
Now, Matty, we talked about, we had this discussion before the game, and this is something we've kind of had a thought about in our head, and we've seen it in pregame warm-ups before the games, we see the special teams and the punters and kickers working on their field goals and their punts, and they're hitting them from about 30 to 40 yards out, and right down the middle, a miss here and there. Why go for two?
Well, Drew, honestly, I can't answer that question. It just, to me, it doesn't really make all that much sense. Like you said, we've seen a lot of the Eureka kickers in warm-ups practicing, and like you said, they've been drilling them from 30, 40 yards. But maybe, I guess it is a different aspect and a different scenario in warm-ups versus when you're actually playing the game. Because we've seen Eureka go for the extra point in games before, and I don't believe they have a successful extra point this season. So maybe they just feel a little bit more comfortable holding onto the ball.
Right, we've talked about it before, and if there's one thing I've learned about just football in general, is that every game will come down to the last point, even if it's by 1 point or 2 points, and an extra point could mean the difference between winning by 1, losing by 1, or going into overtime tied.
So Eureka on the kickoff drives that one out of bounds, and the penalty marker once again comes into play. It'll be the first down for the Regents as they get ready for their second drive of the afternoon. 5:49 left to go here in quarter number 1. Eureka up 6-0. Rockford starting on their own 35-yard line. And again, we see Cartail Dickey and the rest of his offense.
I do believe this is the first time since the first game last season against Knox at Knox where Eureka had put up the game's first points on the board.
The handoff to Malik Gordon, and Eureka with another huge stop. I don't believe he got any sort of gain on that one. Gordon was immediately wrapped up. Actually, it looks like a gain of a single yard. Malik Gordon, 24 attempts coming into this one, 86 yards. Here's another handoff, this time a lot more room for the running back, and again, Gordon will be dragged down.
Tackled by Ethan Pollitt and Brian Byrne.
It'll be 3rd and 4. Well, I'm glad the rain stopped. Here on 3rd and 4, another handoff. Gordon again pushing for a first down, and a huge takedown by Eureka's Gilchrist. And that should be 4th down.
And there was a forced fumble, Gilchrist.
It was a fumble. Eureka comes up with the football.
Gilchrist delivered a low blow. I couldn't tell if the ball went out of bounds first, because remember, if the ball is punched out, but it goes out of bounds before the defense can recover it, or the offense recover it, it just goes as the play is dead where the ball went out.
Whoever is controlling the drone, please remove it from the field. It has to be off the field. Thank you.
And there's the warning for the drone. They just told whoever's running the drone to take it off the field. And it's still there. But anyways, Drew, I mean, this seems like a completely different Eureka football team. What is going on right now? Because remember,
I think after winning the Lincoln Bowl game, I think they felt that they had something to prove. And I think after getting a wake-up call, losing after Westminster, you could just tell that they knew they had more to offer. They left a lot on the table after that game in Fulton. So I think they're coming, and we talked about it on the way here, that, Rockford kind of beat the pants off of us last year. And, we hold the 7-2 all-time record against Rockford. So they definitely have a chip on their shoulder.
Another run up the middle for Aaron Locus. And a huge gain for Eureka, just shy of the first down.
Tackled by number 46, Antonio Buchanan.
Yeah, and again, for those just now tuning in, Rockford beat Eureka last year 59-6. I mean, you can't just make those numbers up. Those numbers mean that they had a really stacked offense. As here's another handoff. This time, looks like Locus will lose some yards on the play.
In the backfield by Nasir Lamar.
Yeah, Locus tried to take a bit of a candy cane route, trying to regather himself. Ended up losing about 3 yards there. And that's kind of one where you just kind of have to try to take it straight up the middle to the left, make a bit of a cut.
So Eureka will break from the huddle. Just under 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Eureka 6, Rockford 0.
I think we see Warren make a pass over the middle here.
Here it is, 3rd and 7. Warren over the middle. There is a completion to Locust. And it looks like it'll be shy of a first down.
Warren's pass completed to Aaron Locust.
But Warren with another completion to add to his account. That'll be his 3rd of the afternoon. And just as mentioned, shy of
they only have 2 yards to go, so honestly no point in bringing out the special teams unit.
Yeah, Eureka most likely going to keep it on the ground here, but you never know.
Did it again. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I had that,
you're
had
good.
that mocha earlier today, and I'm on a whole nother level of anxious.
You gave me the forewarning.
Timeout. Rockford.
So there is going to be a timeout here for Rockford, but Eureka 6, Rockford 0 right now. And again, it'll be 4th and 2 for the Red Devils when we return.
Eureka College Red Devils football is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? That's the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
So both teams make their way back out onto the field. And again, Eureka going for the 4th down conversion here. Just over 3 minutes left to go. Here's Warren on the snap. Resetting. Warren trying to communicate to his team before this next play. 8 seconds on the shot on the play clock. Here's Warren on the pass. There's a completion to, I believe that is Isom for Eureka. And it will be a Red Devils first down.
Back to that mocha. You also have to take into consideration I started the day off with a monster.
That's true. That is very accurate. And you're going to be hyper for these Eureka touchdowns here. Monster. Coffee.
Breakfast sandwich from McDonald's.
Yeah. So Eureka on first down here. Just under 2.5 left to go. They still lead it 6-0. Again, Warren here on the snap. There's a handoff up the middle and a short gain here for Eureka. And you know, you can't even be mad. I mean, I feel like a broken record constantly saying they're running for short gains, but they're successful and they're still making something out of it.
Yeah, if you run for 3 yards on your first attempt and then 3 yards on your second attempt, you only have 4 more to go. And that's an easy little slant pass play over the middle you can do, drag route.
Which we know Eureka's been very great at. That's the power of consistency. So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Red Devils. Here we are on the snap. Warren looking left. Fires. This one will be caught. A completion to Delarian Rose. And we'll see where they rule, where he stepped out of bounds. I believe it'll be just short of a first down. Man, Warren's been accurate today. And all of his receivers, too. Eureka came ready to play.
Yeah, we saw the Red Devils out here really, really early working on their passes with the quarterbacks and route running with the receivers.
Just under a minute to go. Here's the snap. Firing from Warren just over the head of his intended receiver. So
just a bit too high.
Intended for number 81, O'Marion Carter.
Yeah, so I was going to say an incompletion from Warren. Haven't seen a lot of those today. Clock stops at 52 seconds. It'll be 4th and 3 here for Eureka, but of course they're going to go for it like they've been doing all afternoon. Warren again, play calling. Here we go. He's going to fire after the snap, and that one is going to be picked off.
Pass is intercepted.
Caught by Rockford's
Weisinger.
Weisinger.
I disagree with that play call. I think they're with 4th and 3. There's no reason you need to be trying to pass it 20 yards. With the way the run game's been working, you can easily run that yourself if you're Warren or hand it off. I 100% disagree with that play call. I was actually very shocked at that decision.
Yeah, I'll admit, I mean, there's some questionable plays, and that definitely is one of them. Like you said, Drew, I mean, their run game for Eureka has been very successful up to this point, and
because if you run the ball, and it's not a crazy game, it's only 3 yards, you run the ball, you can work the clock all the way down into the second quarter, and you can start the second quarter with the ball.
so Rockford here ready for their third drive, and it looks like there's going to be another timeout.
Rockford.
So we're going to take a very quick break here. You're going to want to stay tuned. You're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news on air, online, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Well, we return here as Dickey ready for the snap. Again, this is Rockford's third offensive drive of the afternoon. 46 seconds left to go in the first quarter. There's a handoff running to his right, and as usual, it'll be Derek Payton all over that one.
Making the tackles, Brian Burns.
Man, I love the way Derek hypes himself up after every play.
Gotta love it. I think that's what keeps the
2nd and 10 from the 5-yard
vibes high in terms of not even just the defense, just the all-around presence that he has and gives off for this team.
Here it is, 2nd and 10. Dickey looking downfield. He's going to be wrapped up, and Eureka all over that one.
Man, he almost got wrapped up in the end zone, and that would have been a safety.
Well, I mean, you have to think, keep in mind, we were not expecting in this game for Cartel Dickey to start as the quarterback. We were expecting Gage Hugert. So maybe that has an effect on the lack of Rockford's offense up to this point. But anyways, that will conclude the first quarter of this one. Again, we're going to take another quick break. Stay tuned for upcoming second quarter coverage on EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
People won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We are back here, ready for the start of the second quarter. Again, you are listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Drew Donnell. Here it is, 3rd and 13. Dickey downfield. He's going to fire. That is a completion, and the football comes out. It'll be an incompletion. Eureka with a huge stop on defense. And again, Rockford unable to do anything offensively.
Yeah, that was a bone-crushing hit from Javon Gibson.
I mean, like I said, this Eureka team that we see right now, completely different from last week. And again, there's always a lot of factors that come into play when you see a team switch up that quickly. But Eureka will regain possession here. It'll be their third offensive drive of today's game. Eureka leads it 6-0 here early in the second quarter.
Butler in the backfield.
He's going to make the catch, run to his left around the 30, and he will be brought down just past the 30 in Regents territory. I mean, how great is that for Eureka?
I think a lot of Eureka's success so far has to do with the awesome recruitment that the coaching staff has done for the Red Devils. I mean, Javon Gibson is a good example. He had the game-winning interception in the Lincoln Bowl game versus Knox. He's been a really good addition on defense, and he's still only a freshman.
That's true. A lot of time here for Gibson to really develop despite his recent success.
And when you have those freshmen that are consistently playing, that has to be such a good feeling, and it makes you hopeful because, you know, when you're playing as consistently as he is as a freshman, that only gives you bright hopes for the future for this program.
So Sanders on that last handoff, a gain of 2 yards on the run. And it looks like Eureka's going to stick to their game plan. Just over 14 minutes left to go. Warren here, 2nd and 8. There's another handoff to Sanders, and he's going to be wrapped up quickly. Purple all around. It's actually kind of funny how Sanders actually stayed up on his feet the entire time. Tough guy to take down.
No gain on the play.
I think coming up here, this is where I think we'll see Warren either take it himself or throw it over the middle.
Yeah, see, this is where you'd like to see Warren maybe throw a little bit. In this game, he's 4 for 7. Accuracy of 59%. It'll be 3rd and 8 here for Eureka, 13-22 in quarter number 2. Here's a snap. Warren, pressure coming. He's going to have to get rid of it quickly, and there is a flag. And that one's definitely going against Rockford.
Incomplete, intended for Aaron Lucas. There is a flag on the play.
So that should move Eureka up a healthy amount. Yeah, I saw that one all the way. Warren was kind of backtracking as he made the throw.
Yeah, pressure was coming real fast.
But his intended receiver was dragged down before he even got a chance to make a play. Yeah, that's a very easy call. We'll wait for the
talking it over a little more, unless there's multiple fouls on the play. Because you're right, that was as clear as day that was pass interference.
So we'll wait for the official signal.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 13.
And it is going to be pass interference against the Regents. So Eureka, as previously stated, with a healthy gain, it will be 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. They now have the ball on Rockford's 15-yard line. Eureka, here's the snap. Warren again with a handoff. Locust immediately wrapped up and tackled to the ground.
Aaron Lucas, the
Short
ball
game.
carrier, tackled by Matthew Hill.
Well, this is what you want to see, though. You want to see the offense consistently in the red zone. If you're consistently getting in the red zone, that's how you know that everybody's doing their job, from O-linemen to receivers to running backs to quarterbacks.
Yeah, and think about the healthy lead Eureka can gain going into the half, too. I mean, keep the touchdowns coming.
And you just look at the time of possession comparing the two teams.
Warren over the middle. There's a completion. And it looks like maybe
pass completed to number 2. And
that will be good enough for a first down, I believe, maybe just short.
Yeah, that was to Anterion Theodore.
Tackled by Antonio Buchanan. 3rd and goal from the 9.
So Eureka gradually moving the ball up the field. As just mentioned, 3rd and 9 for the Red Devils. Just over 12 minutes left to go in this first half. So you imagine Warren's going to throw here again. 3rd and 9. Here we go. Warren looking to his right, fires into the end zone, running back, and it'll be incomplete on the dive. Keyshawn Cone
just overthrew him just a little bit. He had Cone. He worked his man over, but just a bit too much on the throw.
It looks like, I mean, Eureka could go for it, but I mean, this is a situation when you'd want to see them bring out the special teams unit.
You're already up by 6. You're stopping the defense, or you're stopping Rockford's offense. Rockford's offense is barely even made it to midfield. This is exactly where I think.
4th and 9, Warren. There's a completion, still on his feet into the end zone. Let's wait for the call. Eureka touchdown. That one will go to Delarian Rose, who fought his way into the end zone. And just like that, 12-0 Eureka. Let's see what they decide to go for here.
Simple little route straight out to the right. And Rose did a good job staying up on his feet. He got hit once, was able to recollect himself and hit the pylon for another 6 points.
And they're going to go for 2 again. So here it is. Warren, pressure coming, fires into the end zone, and it is caught. The 2-point conversion is a success. 14-0 Red Devils here in the second quarter.
Caught by Milan Mosley.
Eureka now leads 14-0.
From Chicago, Illinois. Went to Richards High School. Actually was in my conference for high school.
Wow. We'll have to get one of those like jersey swaps.
I was about to say, got to do a jersey swap. Even though I played baseball, he played football.
He can wear Eureka for everyone.
He could.
Because it is for everyone.
It is.
That's the message. So Eureka regains the 2 points, back up 14-0. 11:32 left to play as Rockford again gets ready to receive the football.
You know, you brought up the shirt, and it just kind of occurred to me. The first time I didn't wear the shirt was in Westman, and we lost. And then we put up a 14 spot in the first half, and I'm wearing it. So this is the shirt that I'm wearing for every football game.
That, and maybe it just needs to rain before the start of every game as well. But Rockford regains possession here. It'll be William Key taking it up the field past the 50, and it'll be pushed out of bounds. So a good start here for Rockford, and maybe the first time that their fans are able to get up and be excited about something. I'll be honest, I thought he stepped out of bounds way before the 50, but I mean, it is a little difficult to tell from up here.
Yeah, it's also tough when guys have got the white cleats on, blends in with the chalk.
So first play of the drive is a complete pass, again from Dickey to Key. A very short game for the Regents.
Making the stop, number 2, Javon Gibson.
A gain of 2 yards to be exact.
2nd and 7 from the 44.
So Dickey once again here on the snap. 2nd and 8. There's another fake handoff. Dickey taking it himself. And he's going to be wrapped up and brought down. And that's honestly an interesting play. Dickey does not seem like the type of quarterback to be able to make those running plays.
First and 10 from the 37.
Oh, I mean, that's honestly where those types of plays come in handy.
Another handoff, and Key will be brought down immediately.
Number 96, Derek Payton Jr. makes the.
But you were talking about it, that he doesn't have a speed build, but that does come into play. You think about the '85 Bears, William Perry.
There's a completion to Timothy Bearden.
Forced out of bounds on the play by 0, Micah Gilchrist.
That will be, I believe, good enough for a first down. And Rockford with a lot of momentum going forward. Here's the handoff to Key once again. And he'll be taken down once more. So Key with a lot of short 2-yard gains.
Yeah, slowly Rockford's starting to find a bit of a groove here.
Second and 9.
You know what I feel, Drew? I feel a pick coming up.
We'll see if the announcer jinx is true or if it actually is going to happen.
There's the completion. That time caught by Jason Stanfield.
Number 9, Jason Stanfield.
I don't know. I have that feeling.
The stop, number 0, Micah Gilchrist.
Should be third and 5 coming up here.
3rd and 5 for the Regents. 9.5 left to play in this first half. Eureka still up 14-zip. Here's the handoff, running to his right, and there's a takedown from Eureka. Isaiah Graves with the carry.
Number 26, Isaiah Graves.
I think he was just a bit short.
So it is going to be 4th down, but you can imagine Rockford will keep it and attempt to convert on 4th down. A lot of Eureka fans in front of us.
Yeah, 4th and 1 on the 18.
So they will keep it. Rockford fans get into it. Here's the snap. There's the handoff. In trouble, and Eureka is going to take him down. Again, Isaiah Graves unable to execute.
Yeah, Graves had to get around his own offensive lineman. Didn't really know where he was going, and it cost him.
With the stop, number 37,
a 4th down stop for Eureka. And with 8:41 left to play in quarter number 2, they'll regain possession with a 14-0 lead.
From the 19.
I'm honestly just so shocked by the result of this game up to this point.
Yeah, everything's been, other than that one interception that Warren threw.
Fake handoff. Or no, it is a handoff from Warren, but Locust.
That's going to
no large gain.
Be about a loss of maybe 3 or 4.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 from the 16.
So Eureka, not the way they wanted to start out this drive, but again, can't complain too much. They have 2 touchdowns already, and it hasn't even been a full 2 quarters yet. So,
and still plenty of time to get another one, if not 2, with 8 minutes left.
They've already surpassed their point total from last week, and Warren here on 2nd and 13. There's another handoff up the middle, and a takedown from Rockford.
Number 26, Antonio Melton, tackled by 99, Nashon Brown.
So it'll be 3rd down for the Red Devils, and Warren most likely going to have to pass again.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10 from the 19-yard line.
6 for 10 in this one on completions. Just under 7.5 left to go. Here's Warren on 3rd and 10, looking downfield. A lot of time. Fires over the middle and a completion. Again, this time it'll be Eureka's Williams.
Pass completed to number 33, Nazari Williams.
Nazari Williams, not a player we've mentioned too often this season. Again, it's good to see some new players getting a chance to stand out a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 40.
Right, you're always as good as your weakest link.
Here we are on 1st down. Warren, fake handoff. There's a completion to the left side. And again, it'll be Williams with a short gain.
Williams with the reception for the Red Devils. Tackled by number 0.
As you mentioned, we haven't really seen Williams a lot this season. The
pick up a 5
sophomore from Alabama, Georgia.
5 from the 45.
A little bit over 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Eureka leads at 14-0. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell here on the call. Warren with the flip, running to his right near the sideline and being taken out of bounds on a big hit is Delarian Rose.
Tackled by Antonio Buchanan.
Yeah, that was a vicious helmet-to-helmet hit by Buchanan on Rose.
Surprised they didn't throw a penalty marker on the field.
Yeah, lean with the crown a little bit.
From the 47-yard line for Eureka.
And it's interesting that the closer they are, they look like they run a lot faster. Because, you know, usually we're so far, it kind of makes it slow things down.
Usually the booth makes us feel a little farther. Yeah. Now that we're outside, you actually get the true visual of it all.
It'll be 3rd and 3 for Eureka. Here's the snap. Warren again, downfield. There's a huge toss and a completion for Devane Isom. That'll be one of Warren's best highlights of the season.
Tackled by Corey Weisinger. It's a first down for Eureka, 1st and 10 from the Rockford 25-yard line.
All of a sudden, I mean, now we're talking about Eureka gaining a new season high point total.
Yeah, we haven't. The highest we've seen them put up so far was the Lincoln Bowl game. And the highest before that was, I believe, the game against Concordia Chicago, the homecoming game last year.
Yeah, I believe that was 27. Concordia took that one 31-27. Warren, he's going to hand it off. The ball comes out. Warren's going to have to regather, and let's see. Rockford thinks they have it.
Rockford, I believe, did recover it. And that can't happen. That cannot happen. That is totally absurd. You've got to be kidding me.
And a very,
that's unbelievable.
Very costly turnover for the Red Devils. And it looks like there's an injured player on the floor. I can't tell if that's a Rockford player or a Eureka player. The way he's positioned, we can't really see the color of his jersey. But going back to the play, Warren looks like he was going to take it himself, and pressure was coming, so he really had no other choice but to flip it.
He was trying to fake the run to the left, and then was going to pitch it back to, I think maybe it was Jake Crowder, and Crowder fumbled the ball on the pitch, but that's just doing too much there. There's no place for that after a big game like that. I'm sorry, there just simply isn't. That's where you just simply hand it off and try to get 4 or 5 yards, and then do it again on the next play. Make it easier. That's just us making it too hard on ourselves. I mean, after a 30-yard dime to Delarian Rose, that's inexcusable.
So the player who was injured was Rockford's linebacker Napoleon Williams, but he's able to walk off the field under his own power. But as the PA announcer addressed, it'll be first down for Rockford after the turnover. 4:38 left to go in this first half. Here's Dickey with a completion. First down and more for Rockford. And finally being brought down is Bearden. And you'd like for Eureka to make a stop here and prevent Rockford from putting points on the board. 4:15 left to play in the second quarter.
The Eureka 42-yard line.
So the defense here for the Red Devils is going to have to be a little bit stronger. There's a handoff. Ball comes out. Peyton fighting for it. Eureka has it. Derek Payton Jr., everybody.
We talk about so much how one bad play does not dictate how the rest of this game goes for the Red Devils because of number 96, Derek Payton. I mean, it seems like we've seen it all throughout this season. As soon as, we got a forced fumble, interception, he always makes up for the offense.
Going to be 1st and 10 for Eureka from the Rockford.
I mean, you really can't draw it up any better for Eureka. Here we go. Under 4 minutes left to play. There's a handoff. Again, Sanders to his left. And he's going to be brought down. There's a penalty marker down on the field. So we'll wait for the call on that one. Initially, it looks like it was a gain of about a couple yards for Sanders. But we'll wait for the call and see.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it's going to be against Rockford, and Eureka again catching a good break.
It's funny the performance we're seeing from Peyton because, you know, you and I, Maddie, on our way up here listened to EC Sports Talk that Derek Payton and Elston Lacey host on the weekends from 11 to noon, and they were talking about the Bears and how they're underperforming right now. And they were talking about how Montez Sweat is getting paid $72 million to be the best player that the Bears have on defense, and he's been underperforming to his contract and to the kind of player he should be. And Derek Payton's playing the way Montez Sweat should, so quite the coincidence.
On that last play, a loss of a yard for Darius Warren as he tried to keep it himself. Just over 3 minutes to go. 2nd and 11. Here's Warren on the pass across the middle and a completion for Eureka. Delarian Rose again with the catch.
Pass completed to number 81, Marion Carter.
And to kind of touch on their show again, keep in mind, they really hit on the fact that Montez Sweat in 2 games has 6 tackles, no sacks. Derek Payton already has pitched in for 2 today. With a forced fumble.
That's just today alone. So 1st and 10 here for Eureka. 2:22 left to go. They lead it 14-zip. Here's a handoff again, and no large gain there for the Red Devils.
Number 23, Will Stephen
Lloyd with the carry. But that should take us to the 2-minute warning. So we are going to take a quick break, but at the 2-minute warning, Eureka leads it 14-0. Again, stay tuned. You're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. The tumor was very aggressive, and it very quickly became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate place to be. St. Jude is an asset to the world. I think it's the kind of place that could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. If those lessons could be learned, this world could be a better place.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
We are back from the 2-minute warning here in Rockford, Illinois. You're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth, and Eureka right now leads it 14-0 against Rockford. They have it 2nd and 8. Here's Warren. Fake handoff, runs to his left. It'll be a decent gain, and he'll bring it down at about the 10-yard line.
Warren with a quarterback.
That's a good move. Warren totally deked out the defender.
He really sold it there. Didn't really move that much, kind of stood there like a statue, which I think was a dead giveaway that it did look like he was going to hand it off.
So about 1.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Again, Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell alongside me, and Eureka looking to extend on their lead. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Red Devils. Here's Warren on the snap. There's a handoff up the middle. A lot of room for Crowder, and it'll be good enough for a Eureka first down.
Tackled by number 46, Antonio.
And oddly enough, Matthew, I feel like this is where the Red Devils struggle the most, is in the red zone. And I say that because we see it almost just seems like they're moving too fast for their own bodies. I feel like they're in a big state of panic, like there's a lot of pressure on them, and they just need to play like, they're playing at midfield when they get to the end zone. Need to play loose.
Here it is, first down. There's another handoff to Crowder, who again directs himself up the middle.
Yeah, got to about the 4-yard line, looks like.
30 seconds left to go, and it looks like Eureka's going to take a timeout. Smart choice.
Timeout. Eureka.
Eureka College football is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria and Epson Distributors serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
So with just under 30 seconds left to go, Eureka still up 14-0, trying to get at least one more touchdown here before the quarter comes to an end. Both teams just beginning to make their way back out onto the field.
So it'll be 2nd and 4 at the 4. Rockford's 4. 29 seconds left.
Here we are, Warren again, waiting for the snap. Here we go. Looking downfield across the middle, and touchdown to Vane Isom. Make it 20-0 Red Devils. And it looks like there's an injured Rockford player on the floor. Again, their sideline all takes a knee. And this will be the second Regent player to take a moment after a hard hit. Maybe just something going wrong on the field, causing these guys to get injured.
Dare I say, part of our luck today is the fact that the nice truck driver we saw driving on the highway, who you gave the little horn signal to, did honk his horn. What a nice fella.
That was funny. I've only seen that in movies too. I've never actually done that before.
That might have been the greatest moment of our lives.
Honestly. That'll go in the Matthew and Drew
That's
Hall
going
of
in
Fame.
the scrapbook or Hall of Fame, whatever.
Yeah. So Rockford and Eureka again out onto the field. I'm assuming, based on recent decisions, that they're going to go for 2 again. As we see Darius Warren out on the field. So Eureka trying to make it a 22-0 game. Here we go again. Here's the snap. Warren, there's a completion. Trying to get past, but being wrapped up immediately for Eureka.
A 2-point conversion attempt
And
is no good.
the 2-point conversion attempt, as you heard, not good. So it'll remain 20-0 for the Red Devils, but with only 24 seconds left to go,
And your score,
Eureka's going to come out of the first half feeling pretty optimistic.
Yeah, and Rockford might have time, or will have time for one more play. Don't think they'll be able to have time for 2.
Man, what a first half. I mean, like I keep saying, this doesn't seem real, because based on the score last year, I mean, Rockford, I keep mentioning it, but they had a solid offense last year. And,
yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot of things that go into that. Transfers, graduating seniors. I mean, it is tough when, for example, the high school that I went to, when my class graduated, it was a tough blow for the school's program for baseball, because all the everyday starters were, about 10 to 9 seniors.
William Key.
So William Key
Kickoff return.
on the catch. He's going to be taken down maybe just past the 30. And so with 17 seconds left here in the first half, Rockford's going to have maybe one more chance here to put some points on the board. Eureka up 20-0.
The other thing to point out is,
quarterback number 14.
you know, usually when we're on the road or anywhere really, specifically at home at Mackenzie Field, we are seated right behind the Red Devils bench.
Hand off to Key. He'll be brought down past the 40. And if you weren't able to pick it up, it'll be Gage Huger who finally does come in as the quarterback for Rockford.
That's good for Regents.
It looks like Rockford's going to call a timeout real quick to try to do the best they can to get...
Operator, please set the game clock to 15 seconds. You will start the clock on my whistle. Thank you.
I'm just curious as to why they waited so long to put Huger in. Because I knew he wasn't injured, which is why I was confused. Here's another fake handoff. Huger keeping himself, and he's going to be surrounded by Red Devils.
With the quarterback keeper.
So nothing to show for it on the quarterback keeper, and that will conclude things here in the first half. So Eureka feeling pretty good with a 20-0 lead. Drew, any notes you have before we
I
take
think
a
the
break?
biggest takeaway is the mental state that these Red Devils are in. We haven't seen, what I was going to mention earlier is when we're at home, we get good audio from the Red Devils bench in front of us, and it's, you know, a lot of the big state of panic. We haven't heard that today, and, you know, if one person's made a mistake, someone else is right there to pick them right back up.
Yeah, so feeling pretty good on this Saturday evening, but again, Eureka wraps up the first half, leading 20-0. We're going to take a break here. Stay tuned for the upcoming second half. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
Top 5 reasons guys turning 18 register with a selective service system. Today, Jason.
1, it's the law. 2, no selective service registration, no federal college loans and grants. 3, no selective service registration, no government jobs or training programs. 4, takes like 2 minutes. 5, no job, no college, you're a loser, girlfriend dumps you.
Guys, you can probably come up with 5 reasons to register with selective service when you turn 18, but it'd be easier to just register at sss.gov.
The Best of Our Knowledge explores topics on learning, education, and research. Coming up, the nation's report card shows a drop in average scores for 8th graders in science and for 12th graders in math and reading. And liberal arts colleges are going through a challenging time, but one private college in Massachusetts is reimagining education. You're listening to The Best of Our Knowledge. I'm Madeline Reynolds. The latest National Assessment of Education Progress, perhaps better known as the nation's report card, shows a drop in average scores for 8th graders in science and for 12th graders in math and reading. The 2024 results were released on September 9th by the National Center for Education Statistics. They also mark the first post-pandemic NAEP scores for each assessment. The numbers show continued declines in proficiency among American students. Lucas Willard spoke with Dr. Benjamin Solomon, an associate professor at the University at Albany School of Education, to ask what he thought of the latest numbers.
It's not good. So, the test is given at 4th, 8th, and 12th grade. It's given every 2 years to 4th and 8th grade in reading and math, and then I believe every 4 years to 12th graders. So this is the second one, I believe, for 4th and 8th graders since the pandemic, but the first one since the pandemic for our 12th graders. And what it has shown is slightly different patterns in reading and math. For reading, scores have largely stagnated since the pandemic. Just persistently low scores, with those that are sort of in the 75th or 90th percentile holding their own, but those below gradually falling. And if you look at it, the proficiency rate in 12th grade, which you mentioned, is pretty low. I don't quote me on this, but I think it's in the 30s. I think around 35% ballpark. For math, we see a slightly different pattern where scores were slowly ticking up pretty much until the pandemic, but then there was a clear drop as students, were pushed out of school, pushed into remote learning, and then in 22 we saw a slight uptick for our higher kids, but a stagnation on our lower kids. And then in the most recent one, that stagnation persisted. So we're still significantly below pandemic level achievement for math. 12th graders were also, I believe, assessed in science this year. And there was significant concerns there, pretty low scores, gender gaps between male and female students, which were emerging, and overall low achievement that is below prior levels. So overall, it's a pretty concerning picture.
There's also a preparedness score that's given to 12th graders. So are these students prepared to go to college? And I just want to point out that the most recent report says that 35% of 12th graders are prepared to go to college in reading, and that's down from 37%. From 2019. So you had mentioned the pandemic, and a lot of people, maybe I'm generalizing, but there's a lot of finger pointing to the pandemic to say this is the great disruptor, and now we're still seeing the consequences of that. But as you have pointed out, and what the numbers have shown, is that there's been a decline for a while now. But when it comes to the pandemic, what's your assessment, and maybe what do the numbers say of how students are faring? Was there a exacerbation of those numbers because of the pandemic? Did it accelerate declines that were already in the works?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic certainly had an effect. And it would make sense because in reading we saw sort of a stagnation, but students get some level of incidental reading exposure in and out of school, right? There's text all around us. So it makes sense that the pandemic had less of an effect on reading than it did in math. Students tend to only get math in one place, school. And we've learned remote learning is not really terribly effective, especially for our at-risk learners and especially for our younger kiddos. So that makes sense why we saw a bit more of a crash in math. But I think it's incorrect to say that the pandemic was the sole reason that we saw those suppressed scores. As you mentioned, especially for our at-risk learners before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, sort of for a much greater population of students. There's a lot of factors that play into that, actually. Aside from the pandemic, I think we can look to just the socio-political context. There is rising disproportionality, for example, in socioeconomic status between the rich and the poor, and I think it would be foolhardy to say that didn't have something to do with it because it trickles into our schools in terms of students' needs and in terms of how those schools are funded. Another huge element of it, which I think is important and which is quite changeable, is the curriculum and instruction that these students receive. There's been a lot of attention paid to that recently, and that's an independent variable that's separate from the pandemic.
The science of reading, as one example, has been a focus. We're in New York State, where it's been something that's been included in legislation in the state budget, and there's been a big focus on the science of reading. But this is not the only state where that's occurring. There are a lot of states that are looking at reading fundamentals as something to invest in right now. One, what do you think of this approach? And two, how long of a ramp up could there actually be for focusing on the fundamentals and therefore having a positive effect on these assessment scores with more students being able to read more proficiently?
Yeah, the science of reading was a crucial turning point in our reading instruction. We'll call it literacy instruction because it's broader than just reading. Our literacy instruction across the country. Of course, there's Emily Hanford's podcast, which sort of sold the story, which caused a bit of a tipping point. At the same time, the Reading League emerged in Syracuse, and we also had states starting to pilot specific models. For example, Mississippi is often brought up as being one of the first to hold on to the science of reading and then show meaningful gains in their student population because of it. In New York, admittedly, we're a little bit behind the curve on that. Whereas other states, I think, were getting on that, a couple years ago. Only recently did New York release sort of a science of reading initiative. And it was broader than other states in terms of what they're expecting of schools. They provided a framework, sort of touch points, if you will, for what schools should be focusing on. But they didn't provide, at least at a state level, there was no real sort of, as I understood it, plan to vet specific curriculums, really operationally define specific areas of reading that schools must focus on and how they must demonstrate that they're focusing on those areas. So we absolutely did acknowledge the science of reading in New York, but it's a little hazier than has been sort of institutionalized in other states. And that's promising, but I think it's also a little concerning because I think when you look at what variables lead to change with schools, you need very specific directions. You need crystal clear directions because otherwise things get lost in translation. And geez, it's hard to be a teacher these days, right? You get so many different voices coming at you from in both ears. So you really need specific expectations that the school can help train up on. I'm not convinced we're there yet in New York. So I hope whatever we've done in New York, I hope it does reflect in upcoming scores, but I'm not convinced it will yet.
There are states right now that are discussing cell phone bans in the classroom. New York has just implemented its first bell-to-bell ban on smartphones and internet-connected devices for K through 12 students. Do you think that restrictions on technology are going to have an effect in how students perform academically?
Yes, you're a little outside my area of expertise, but intuitively, I see no reason a cell phone ban, sorry for the double negative, isn't a good idea. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think if you look at the research, and again, it's not my area, but you see a heavy level of distractibility, you see effects on social emotional health among students. Cell phones are by design addictive. And, especially for a middle school or adolescent, that's particularly enticing. So I think it is a good idea to have a cell phone ban. Although, again, I don't want to take attention away from the critical importance of curriculum and having high quality curriculums that align with the science of reading in schools. Both of those things, at the least, are important.
And Benjamin, do you teach classes at UAlbany?
Yeah.
So have you noticed any performance drops or issues with the students that you teach who are coming through over the years?
No, I haven't. I'm very proud of my students. They do a great job. I work with graduate students, for what it's worth, in school psychology. So they're sort of a self-selected bunch, right? They've been admitted into grad school. We have a competitive program. So, in my very narrow case, I don't see a particular concern. But again, I work with a self-selected population.
So in addition to, we just talked about the science of reading, but where, from your experience and from your analysis, do you feel is the most important area or areas to support education through public funding? Where are the choke points, if you will? What should be the focus from leaders at the state or in the federal government to ensure that reading proficiency, academic proficiency, math is science, that students are performing where they should be? That's a big, broad question, but take it where you will.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of critically important areas. I don't want to belittle, any specific area, whether it be in the academic or behavioral, social emotional health, or physical health areas. They're all quite important. And there's different initiatives that can contribute to each one of those that can contribute to student success. But as far as specific academics go, in the state. I do think we need a more clear direction, and funding can contribute to professional development that's pretty persistent and pretty in depth. That focuses on the simple view of reading. That focuses on the tenets of the science of reading, both in the in the phonics and letter sound correspondence domain, and in the language comprehension domain. I think teachers are still a little confused on average. Obviously, there's some excellent teachers in New York as to what that looks like. You can't just tell them, you have to model it, and you need funding to develop those resources. So that would be pretty important to me. And I think we need to put groups together to make a greater focus on specific curriculums that have been shown to work. And again, connect that to teachers. Don't speak at them. Model it and provide supports in schools. And I think that will pay dividends. A similar picture for math, which is actually my area of focus. There's been, we talk about the reading wars, but there are math wars too. And there's huge controversy in terms of how we should teach math. And there is an emerging science of math, and which frankly doesn't align, in my opinion, with what our standards are in New York. For example, if you look in New York, very few third graders probably emerge with their multiplication tables memorized. But that's very important. They need to memorize their multiplication table because that contributes to pre-algebra and algebra and geometry and so forth. And so I think we actually need to put a huge amount of work into a parallel model for math, where we sort of define what a good curriculum of math looks like, what its features are, and provide sort of a lot of publicly accessible teacher resources and training to insert good activities, good exercises into our classrooms in math to really build that skill up. Because again, reading is critically important, but a number of students will learn to read regardless of instructional technique because literacy surrounds us. That is not the case necessarily in math. Most students only have access to math. I mean, some students who, privileged students, have parents that are engineers or scientists, and they get it all the time. But school's the only place a lot of students have access to math. So if they're not given excellent instruction in math in schools, then they simply don't get it. And that's why we also see, if you look at the NAEP scores, proficiency rates slowly sort of erode over time from 4th to 8th to 12th grade, because the gaps are very small in 4th grade, but then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you're a student of a wealthier family, you'll self-insure and get tutoring to close that gap. But if you're not, you're going to fall further and further behind. So instruction in math is particularly important, and we're pretty far off the mark nationally in terms of making that sort of an everyday practice.
Do you think that any cuts to the federal Department of Education will have a ripple effect in how students learn? Now, I know that federal education dollars support a lot of Head Start programs, special education programs. It's not necessarily curriculum that we're talking about here, but it's support to programs that ultimately do benefit students. So do you have any predictions of how the possible elimination of the federal Department of Education will have an effect here?
So it's sort of hazy at the moment, right? Because the cuts came very quickly and in a huge volume. And so it's unclear sort of in 2 years where we'll be as an effect on the cuts.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
We return to the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. You are listening live to EC 103.1. Matthew Swan, my broadcast partner, Drew Donnell. And after one half of Week 3 football between the Eureka Red Devils and the Rockford Regents, the Red Devils lead it 20-0. A very strong one-sided first half. Eureka pretty much leading in every single category. We have a lot of players that have stood out in this one. Delarian Rose for Eureka. He has 34 yards on the ground right now and that's been the storyline for Eureka and how they've been able to contribute to scoring those 20 points. That's been the key of the game, keeping the ball on the ground. We mentioned in the pregame that's pretty much what they were going to try to do, and it's worked out up to this point. Drew, is there anybody that really stands out to you in this one?
I think there's so many people that honestly stand out. I mean, you could go with the obvious, Darius Warren, who so far has thrown for a little over 100 yards. Pretty good. I mean, honestly, he's letting the run game do all the work. I mean, everybody in terms of the running backs is pitching in. Devane Isom with 38 yards. Nazari Williams. Delarian Rhodes with 34 yards. He's averaging 17 yards rushing. That is insane. And then you have Ronnie Sanders, Darius Warren, and Jaden Crowder all pitching in as well. And what I was mistakenly saying before was the receiving, which also Delarian Rhodes is up in. We have seen Nazari Williams make an appearance for the first time so far this season, which we haven't really seen that much. And of course, we've seen a couple of hiccups on offense. Darius Warren throwing an interception, fumble right before we went to halftime. But Derek Payton Jr., as we've talked about so many times on this broadcast, has been, in my opinion, the biggest difference maker, because every time that the offense makes a mistake, he's always there to pick up his teammates. He's always getting a key sack at the right time. Before the Red Devils got their third touchdown, he was there and he was able to force a fumble, which ultimately led to the third touchdown that we got.
Yeah, moving things over to Rockford. For the entirety of the game, we've seen Cartel Dickey as Rockford's quarterback. Of course, not their typical quarterback, but right at the end of the second quarter and to conclude the first half, we saw their lead quarterback, the senior Gage Huger. He came in for a few plays. And again, we don't really know why he hasn't been starting the game. Drew, I know you mentioned maybe because last year, they beat us 59-6. Maybe they came in here thinking this is going to be an easy win, but obviously Eureka proving otherwise. And they will actually, speaking of Eureka, they'll be the ones to start with the football here in the third quarter. We have 15 minutes on the clock. Rockford ready to kick things off. And we'll see how both teams adapt here in the second half. But getting things underway, again, Eureka starting with the football. Theodore up the middle of the field, and he crosses the 35. Looks like that is where Eureka will begin here in the third quarter. Yeah, Eureka came into this game only averaging 10 points per game. They already have 20 through one half, their new season high. Again, previously it was against Knox when they scored 14. But again, they have 20 right now. And they also are averaging a little bit over 100 rushing yards per game as well. And you can imagine that's going to spike up despite the game plan we've seen today.
Yeah, if this keeps up, it'll spike up dramatically.
Warren, fake handoff. He's going to fire on the run to a very open receiver.
And he's got nothing but daylight, and he'll go.
That is going to be a Eureka touchdown. Very first play of the quarter. Give that one to Eureka's Xavier Clemens.
65 yards for the touchdown. Officials come out for an injury on the field.
And there is an injured Red Devil, but we'll get to that in just a second. But
Brian Humes with the touchdown reception.
I mean, nobody was covering him.
Correct. We thought it was Xavier Clemens. That's actually Brian Humes, who's made his first appearance so far this season. He's been on the sideline with an ankle injury, and he makes his first appearance today. And I mean, that was a long touchdown. He started running towards more the middle to try and throw off the defense, but ended up working anyways.
Warren with the completion, and absolutely nobody to stop the Eureka offense downfield from the 35-yard line. So it will be a Eureka touchdown, make it 26-0 Red Devils. Wow. I mean, they're just full of surprises today. That's not how, I don't think any of Eureka's fans expected the game to result, or I guess I should say, start off in this manner. So it looks like, again, Eureka's going to go for two. We see Darius Warren back out onto the field. It almost looked like on that touchdown, two Eureka players almost ran into each other. That's what I thought was going to happen. But as the Red Devils get ready for two, Warren here on the snap. Hands it off up to the middle, and again, no good. So it will remain 26-0. That'll be, I believe, the third stop from Rockford when Eureka tries to go for two. But 14-35, and Rockford again will regain possession. Rockford coming into this one, averaging 24.5 points per game.
William Key
and
Jory Washington.
The switch up is so interesting. A reminder, they scored 30 last week on the road at Elmhurst, against Elmhurst, and all of a sudden they're being shut out right now. Just really no sign of offense for the Regents.
No, we talked about it earlier in the the second quarter, where we talked about, we're seeing guys for the, oh my.
What in the world?
Joshua Harris with the kickoff.
Kai Pon for Rockford made the catch on the kickoff, and he just laid down.
The really weird play. It was not a good kick, only went about 30 yards. Yeah, he just fell straight to the ground. I thought he hurt himself. He went down to the ground really awkwardly. But I was saying before is, when we were talking in the second quarter, we were talking about how, there's so many newcomers, or whether they're guys that, usually sit the bench that are, the first to be subs to go in off the bench. We talked about Nazari Williams. We haven't really seen much of him this season, or a lot last season. But then you see Brian Humes, who comes in for his, I believe that's his first collegiate snap, and takes it to the house from about 70 yards.
Very impressive, especially to start things off. Very first play of the third quarter. On that last snap, it was Huger on the handoff to Key for a gain of 5. Here he is again, another handoff. Key up the middle once more, and being brought down again. There is a penalty marker down on the field. Players on the field getting very physical in the middle of that play.
Illegal formation. 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
So that penalty is again going to go against Rockford, and they just continue to add on to that.
After the penalty, it's 2nd and 10 from the
negative aspect. So 14 minutes left to go in this third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Regents. Huger ready for the snap. Quick pass, that one complete to Bearden, and a very short gain again.
Number 3, Tim Bearden. Making the tackle of the Red Devils, 0, Michael Gilchrist.
Yeah, right now the Regents are just playing with that mentality that we usually see. I believe, Drew, you mentioned earlier from Eureka. Just
it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 34
very short gain of yards on the run. Not passing the ball very deep. Here Huger is passing the ball, and that will be a completion to Stanfield.
Pass completed to number 9, Jason Stanfield.
It just feels like they're moving the ball very slowly. And that explains why they have yet to put any points on the board.
It'll be interesting to see how this game plays out.
Huger again, a lot of time across the middle, and then another completion Again, that one to Bearden.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out with Hugert in the game, considering for the first 2 games he's thrown for 400 yards. So it'll be interesting to see if 26 will be enough.
So that time it'll be an incompletion from Hugert. But see, you can already see the difference between Dickey and Hugert in terms of passing the football. Hugert's like, come on, we gotta go, we gotta get this done. And you can just tell by how quickly he's moving the ball up the field. Dickey, he was a little bit more relaxed, was taking a lot more of his time, but you can...
And I think Hugert does that because the defense is so used to, the slow-paced offense from the Regents, and Hugert kind of wants to set the tone.
So here's the snap again, a little bit of a low snap down the field and complete. Again, Bearden with another catch.
Tackled by Kevion Mitchell.
They almost seem like a different team with Gage Hugert on the field.
First and goal.
First and goal here for Rockford. Hugert again, this time on the handoff. Key to his left, he's going to be wrapped up, and that will be a huge
and
loss.
It comes out!
Eureka will regain possession. Just as you think everything was going right for Rockford, Eureka comes in from nowhere and takes over.
It was recovered by Zion Bettis. I couldn't tell who got in there for the tackle. But just when Hugert had this Regents offense going, Red Devils get their second fumble of the day. Actually, third fumble of the day.
Again, Rockford just not really kind of applying to their fundamentals.
And the football we're seeing from the Regents is what we were used to a lot last year.
Here's a run for Eureka. And again, Locust, not much to show on that one.
Locust, the ball carrier. Tackled by Joey Alvarez and Nashawn Brown.
So just under 12 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Eureka up 26-0.
No gain on the play.
Again, you're listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell on the call. Eureka, it'll be 2nd and 10. Warren waiting for the snap. Here we go. There's another handoff up the middle. And this time it seems like Rockford has total control. A short gain for the Red Devils.
Tackled by number 46, Antonio Buchanan. Number 97, Sammy Napper.
It'll be 3rd and 8. So another gain of 2.
3rd and 7 from the 30-yard line.
So it'll be interesting to see how gutsy Warren's feeling now that the Red Devils have a comfortable 26-point lead.
Yeah, and here he is looking to pass. A lot of time pressure coming. And he does lose the football. It comes out. Rockford comes up with it. And it'll be a Regents touchdown. Their first of the afternoon. Joey Alvarez. At that point, Warren should have just held on.
Warren has to get rid of it. That's just something they teach, young high schoolers. Got to get rid of the football. You got to have a sense of feeling the pressure. You have to get rid of the football.
But even as he's coming down, like you said, I mean, you either have to get rid of it or just hold on to it.
Yeah, even if you're getting hit, you have to throw out of it. So that way it does not considered a fumble.
So Rockford with their first 6 of the afternoon on this touchdown, going for the extra point. It looks like they're going to try to just grab the 7. It'll be Caden Finstad. Kick is up and good. We saw him during halftime taking some warm-up practice kicks. So it is 26-7 after the extra point. And Rockford finally, here in the third quarter, has something to cheer about. So a mistake from Darius Warren. Can't be too mad. Drew, like you said, Eureka has a comfortable lead, but now it is time to get back to work, and there is still a full 2 quarters left to play, so. Well, we keep referring to the amount of Eureka fans right now here at Rockford University, taking up almost, I'd say maybe a third of the bleachers. Maybe not quite, but a lot of Eureka fans showing their support as Eureka gets ready to return. Again, it'll be Finstad ready. He will be kicking. 10:42 left to go in this third quarter. Here we go. Kick is up for Eureka. This one's going to be taken up by Theodore up the middle, and again, he'll be taken down around the 30-yard line.
On the kickoff return. Tackle on the return by number 38, Arshawn Rupert.
So the Red Devils looking to rebound after losing the football last possession. They fumbled the football at around the same spot they're at right now.
It would have been interesting, too, because I don't think we've ever seen Eureka go a full game without giving up any points in the 2 years that we've been here. I mean, it would have been fun to see. Here's a handoff from Warren, and a huge takedown from Rockford. Again, that time, number 43 for the Regents. Nothing to show
this is
for
where
it.
This is where if your coach starts, you have to change it up. I mean, the same run play hasn't been really working that much for the Red Devils for the past 2-3 possessions. This is where you gotta change it up with more passes over the middle.
Here is Warren. Another handoff. This time, Sanders with a decent gain. Good enough for a first down. Chains move forward.
Ronnie Sanders, the ball carrier.
Rockford does seem like a completely different team on offense, though, with Hubert on the field. Almost intimidating.
I'd agree. I think they definitely look more compound with Hugert, and this defense also looks totally different as well, stopping the run game, whereas the first half it was night and day. The run game for us against their defense was just on a whole nother level.
Here it is, 1st and 10. Another handoff, trying to break free from some tackles, but quickly being taken down. Delarian Rose.
The ball carrier. And on the sound for the Regents.
So that'll be a Red Devils second down. Again, they lead it 26-7. Just under 9 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Warren once again lined up, waiting for the snap. Here we go. Fake handoff. There's a pass. There is a completion, but looks like it'll be a loss of yards. Rose with the catch.
Should be about 3rd and 11, I believe. Maybe 3rd and 12.
Loss of 2, back to the 41-yard line, 3rd and 12.
Well, you have to give credit to the Rockford sideline. Their players down there are still very into it, starting to encourage their team a little bit more, cheer them on. There's been a severe lack of that type of motivation in the first half for Rockford. It'll be 3rd and 12. Here's Warren. He's going to hand it off again to Sanders, who takes it to his right. But it will not be good enough for a first down. So a quick drive on offense for the Red Devils. One of the very few times we haven't seen them put points on the board during a drive in this game.
And one of the few times we haven't seen them try to go for a big play with the pass game. as the one time they did it gained no yards, actually lost 2 yards.
For Eureka.
So we'll see special teams for the first time punted away.
In the backfield is Tim Bearden. Kick is up. Bearden right there. He's going to let it roll, picks it up. Now he's going to run forward to his right, and he'll take it just past the 35 in Regents territory. Decent gain.
Tackled on the return by Brian Burns.
So Huger and Rockford again coming out onto the field. Under 7 minutes left to go. And this is where Eureka's defense is going to have to step up. Last drive for the Regents, Huger was able to move the ball down the field fairly quickly. He had several completions in what seemed like a matter of seconds. And he's back out there now. Ball on the 37. There's the fake handoff to his right, and an incompletion. You can tell for Eureka, Caleb, or it looks like Christopher Walker maybe was all over that one, and he was maybe a little frustrated with himself for not catching the football. He wanted to take that one away. But it'll be second down for Rockford. Again, Hugert on the snap. Getting some play calling from his coaches. Here it is, 2nd and 10. Hugert again to his right. This time a completion to Bearden, and he's going to be ruled out of bounds.
Pass completed to Tim Bearden.
So it is a completion, a very short gain for the Regents.
You almost have to wonder if it's tougher for this Red Devils defense to stop Huger, because he has such a different play style, and they're not used to that. They've been used to the slow tempo play style. So you almost have to wonder if that quickness is a bit intimidating.
Yeah, he's definitely passing a lot more than Dickey was. It'll be 3rd and 7. Here's a fake handoff again, up the middle, incomplete.
Huge hit by Derek Payton.
Bearden unable to make the catch.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Tim Bearden. Broken up by Xavier.
So that will be 4th down for Rockford, and Eureka catching a break after a very strong offensive start from Huger. So again, we see Jack Butler in the backfield waiting to receive the football. 6:16 left to go in this third quarter. Eureka still leads it 26-7, and you are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Again, Matthew Swan and Drew Donnell bringing you today's coverage. Kick nearly blocked. Good effort. This one's going to fall and roll past the 30. Good break there for Rockford, and they'll pick it up just shy of the 15. And that is where Eureka will begin.
15-yard line, 1st and 10, Eureka.
Not to also mention, this might be the most fumbles we've seen the Red Devils force in quite some time. I can't remember the last game we've seen this defense force 3 fumbles.
Yeah, definitely in a single game. Just goes to show you how good this Eureka defense is.
Yeah, we've said it time and time again, and especially last year, that this team can be really, really good and compete with the best. It's just all the pieces have to fall in place together at the same time.
Matthew Hill,
yeah, and like we were talking about in the first quarter as well, if Eureka can just set the tone early, get things going, score 6 on their first drive, I know it can't happen every time, but you'd like to see it, every once in a while. If they can do that, they're setting themselves up for success.
Yeah, and you can't get too comfortable with any lead, because that's when, you start having, flashbacks of Falcons and the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
It'll be 5:21 left to play in this quarter. On 2nd and 9, another handoff from Eureka, and again a takedown from Rockford.
Number 8, Delirian Rose.
So Drew, going back to what you said a little earlier, yeah, maybe it's time for Eureka to switch up their game plan, maybe pass the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, they're playing way too comfortable right now. This is where you have to lock in and, you know, this is where you have to have no mercy. I mean, they need to treat this game like it is their sole purpose and mission to put up 50 points. Right now, they're playing like 26 is just fine.
I mean, that's what St. Norbert did last year, and that's what Aurora did last year.
And Concordia, Wisconsin also. Last game of the year was their homecoming game.
That's true. 3rd and 8 here for Eureka. Here's Warren looking to pass. Looks right. And the ball comes out. He's just going to have to drop on the football. It'll be 4th down, and Rockford with another huge stop.
There's just, in my opinion, there is just no urgency right now. Everything just looks very, very, very lackadaisical right now. And this is where, you know, you have to play like it's the opening quarter, again, opening play, opening drive. There's just not enough going on for the Red Devils. Need to pick up the energy.
Rockford right now just feeding off of Eureka's lack of motivation. But Drew, going back to what you said again, 5 total fumbles between both teams in this one. And there is going to be a penalty marker on the field, but for Rockford, it'll be a very strong gain from Bearden on the return. But as mentioned, there is a penalty marker on the field. We'll wait for the call. A lot of penalties, too, in this game.
Yeah, and most of them, majority of them are on Rockford, and this is one of the few games where we honestly haven't seen that many penalties go against the Red Devils win. That's been one of their biggest problems.
Receiving team.
Yeah.
Number 31, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Another penalty against Rockford. But hey, that goes to show you the success Eureka is bringing to each game every single week. Less and less penalties, that's a good sign. 1st and 10 here for Rockford. Hugert again on the snap. This time he hands it off up the middle, and quickly being brought down is Richardson, the running back.
To your point, we saw a lot of times, even in the Lincoln Bowl game, where the Red Devils would get a big gain. More specifically, I think on the run side of things, where they get a big gain and then they get called back for false start, a hold, you know, face mask, you name it.
And that's going to be a false.
That's going to be
definitely against Eureka.
I think that might be an offsides.
Offsides for sure. Yeah, Eureka. Not sure exactly who it was, but there was some movement.
Couldn't tell who moved first, but it definitely looked like it was the defense.
And it looks like Eureka's sideline is making a case for themselves.
Offsides, defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So it is against Eureka.
Goes against Roshan Calhoun.
Now it's 2nd and 4. Rockford. Ball on the 34 in Red Devils territory. There's a completion to Key, and he's going to be slammed to be taken down.
William Key, the ball carrier. Tackled by Michael Gilchrist.
So it'll be just short of the first down, 3rd and 5 to be exact. So a loss on the play. Hugert's going to have to come up big here. 3rd and 5, 2.5 left to go. Here in the 3rd quarter, Eureka still up 26-7. Hugert getting some play calls on the sideline. Here's the snap, looking downfield, fires, and a completion to Bearden. Helmet comes off, and he's hurt. He's hurt. He's grabbing that left leg. That is not a good sign for Rockford. Their star wide receiver, Tim Bearden, is in some pain. Yeah, his helmet.
Rockford wanted a flag on that play, but that was a clean hit.
Yeah, and his helmet came flying off. Like I
And
said,
that's good for Rangers.
grabbing at that left leg.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line.
And he's going to be given some attention down on the sideline. But for now, the game continues as we reach the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Regents, who are just shy of entering the red zone. There's another handoff, and this time Eureka all over that one. Brian Burns with the tackle.
Brian Burns.
Loss of 1, push them back to the 22.
Loss of 1 to the 22, 2nd and 11.
Well, if Eureka can get out of this third quarter with only giving up a single touchdown, it'll look pretty good. And another flag. Eureka thinks it's against Rockford.
False start.
And this one is going against the Regents.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
They get something good, and just like that, it gets taken away. Second and 16 for Rockford. 1:15 left to go. Here's Hubert, downfield again, fires right, and it's picked. Oh! No! He almost had the catch. I believe that was Gilchrist.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Nick.
He had the ball in his hands, and he hit the ground, and it came out.
Yeah, it was Micah Gilchrist. He had it all the way, and then just the impact of him hitting the ground is what popped that ball out. It'll still be 3rd and 16 on the 27.
And there is going to be a timeout taken here from Eureka. But the thing is, if Gilchrist is able to come up with that ball, it totally shifts the momentum of the game. Because even if Rockford right now does get 4th down, like I said, we've seen Caden Finstad during halftime warming up for some field goals, and he is very accurate. He can kick the ball, I'd say, maybe 35, 40 yards. So even if Rockford does get a 4th down here, they'll have a chance to add another 3 to their point total. But Eureka still up 26-7. 1:10 left to go here in the third quarter. Both teams starting to make their way back out onto the field. Here's Hugert waiting for the snap. It'll be 3rd and 16. Here from the 27-yard line, there's a handoff. Looking for space, but Eureka is all over that one. It'll be 4th down for the Regents.
William Key, the ball carrier, tackled on the play by
And now we'll see what Rockford decides to do. And this time we have an injured Red Devil on the field, it looks like. Again, looks like another leg injury.
Officials timeout for an injury.
And that is where most of the agility comes in for both sides. A lot of that power from the legs, and yeah, just these injuries keep piling up. But it looks like the Red Devil player will be okay, and again, we'll see what Rockford decides to do here on 4th and 15. You can imagine they'll just go for the field goal. 50 seconds left to go in this third quarter. But Drew, I do have to ask, seeing the baseball field ahead of us, does it bring back any fun memories? There is the snap. Huger is going for it. He's going to run up the middle, firing on the run into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Regents. Pass to Barden. Second touchdown for Rockford in this one. And it was a smart choice to go for it on 4th and 15.
It's what we kept talking about. They never get too comfortable, no matter how big or small a lead is, and the Red Devils are getting way too comfortable right now.
Yeah, Eureka still has yet to put any points on the board here in the second half, as the extra point is good, make it 26-14. Red Devils still remain on top, but we'll see how much longer we'll be able to say that. I think the goal here for Eureka is return the ball for a decent gain. Make sure you don't do anything that you'll regret. That way you can hold on to it going into the fourth quarter. I think if Eureka can get maybe one more touchdown, I think they'll be able to seal this one out. So both sides return to the field. Again, 26-14, Eureka leads it. 34 seconds left to go in this third quarter, and you're listening to EC 103.1, live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth with Matthew Swan and Drew Donnell.
That was a messed up question, by the way.
I like how you just remembered it. Bring back any
you know what? I don't have many because I played once over there the times that I went there. I did pretty good myself. Bats were just never able to really wake up over there.
I was going to say, if it helps, I was there too. Maybe not suffering the same way you were, but I was there. Isom with the catch. He's going to hustle his way up the field across the 20, and he'll run out of bounds just shy of the 30.
Jermaine Isom with a kickoff return for Eureka.
That was cruel.
It was cold that day. It was cold and windy.
By number 47, Darian
felt
Williams.
like every baseball that was off the bat was going to be a home run. I actually remember when I was in the dugout, Suarez, one of the Rockford guys, hit one off the bat, fly ball in the air to center, and Suarez was walking back and forth, pacing behind me, and he just goes, "Please stay in the ballpark, please stay in the ballpark," and it didn't, but it was funny.
So of course you remember that.
Yeah. There wasn't much to remember from that day.
Wrong.
Here's Warren on 1st and 10, deep ball. No, and it's not going to be caught on the dive. Theodore, he had it, and again, another case of the impact from hitting the ground forces him to lose possession. It'll be ruled an incompletion.
Yeah, he was looking for a flag there, but it was just simply good coverage by the Regions. And that would have definitely changed the tone of this offense.
Yeah, and I was going to say Warren's accuracy in this one has been elite. Like, he's just every single guy hitting him right in the chest, it feels like.
Made a couple of hiccups, but that's, going to happen every game.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
No matter how talented you are.
Warren on the handoff, looking for some room, and a short gain again from Eureka. It'll be Rose on that one.
Tackled by Nasir Lamar and Joey Alvarez.
Gain of 2, and that will conclude the third quarter. So Rockford ends up scoring 2 touchdowns. They have 14 in a single quarter. Eureka still leads at 26-14, but you're going to want to stay tuned. We'll take a quick break for upcoming fourth quarter coverage. Again, you're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news on air, online, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
People won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
We welcome you back into the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth here in Rockford, Illinois. And Eureka leads it 26-14 going into the fourth quarter. They have a third down, 8 yards to go. And here's Warren on the snap looking to convert. Another deep ball A lot of defenders from Rockford, and it'll be incomplete. Maybe not the right move, but that will turn things over. Again, thank you for listening to EC 103.1. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell, bringing you today's coverage. And Eureka is just going to have to come up big here on defense.
Nathan Barrett in punt formation.
I think a lot of what happened on that last possession happened backwards. I think when it was 2nd and 8, that's when you got to try to get a short little gain on the pass game with about 4 or 5, maybe 6 yards, or run the ball and then you go deep for it.
So for Rockford again in the backfield, it'll be Bearden. He's going to make the catch, and they'll call for the fair catch.
Tim Bearden with the fair catch for Rockford.
So Rockford will have it at about the 34-yard line. Down by about 2 touchdowns. And they have 14 minutes and 48 seconds to try to make a comeback in this one. Keep in mind, Eureka at the half led the game 26-0. But I'm telling you, as soon as they put Hugert in, the dynamic shifted. And there's another completion to Bearden for a short gain. It was a low pass. Bearden able to get his hands underneath the football.
Tackled by number 2, Jovan Gibson.
Short gain again. Clock continuing to wind down. And this is where, if you're Eureka, you'd like to see the Regents eat up a lot of the clock. Same play. This time it'll go to Willard, and he has the completion. Left side again.
With the reception.
So you can imagine Hugert's going to go downfield here. Maybe a run. 3rd and 4.
3rd down.
But from the aggression we've seen from the senior quarterback, he's been passing the ball very frequently, and he's looking downfield. Pump fake now, he's in trouble. Fires, there's a completion. It'll be good enough for a 1st down for Rockford. And they continue to move the chains down the field.
But that's good for Regents.
Derek Payton almost had, I believe, his 3rd sack of the game.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Regents from their own 49.
Yeah, there's been way too, which is a good thing, but a lot of Eureka players on defense who have been standing out in this one. Hugert back at it to his left on the run. It'll be short, but there is a flag.
For Tim Bearden, we've got a flag on the play.
Looked like Hugert on the run slipped a little bit, and the pass
Personal foul.
was short.
Roughing the passer. Number 43, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
So that one's going to go against Eureka. Again, roughing the passer was the call. And Eureka might just need to take a little breather here because nothing they are doing seems to be going their way.
From the Eureka 36-yard line.
13:25 here in the 4th quarter. 26-14, Eureka on top. It'll be 1st and 10. Hugert again. Looks left. Fires deep down the field. Nearly picked off. It'll be an incompletion.
Intended for Tim Bearden. Pass is broken up by number 37, Xavier Clemens. 2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line.
You were talking about earlier, Matthew, how it would not be a bad idea for Eureka to call a timeout, and I agree with that. Kind of need, not even to build that stamina back up, but a mental kind of a timeout to take a breather, reset.
Yeah, it seems like Eureka's in desperate need of that. It'll be 2nd and 10. Here's another pass complete to Richardson, who's still on his feet, and he's going to be pushed forward for the extra yardage.
The ball carrier.
Not good enough for a 1st down, but it will move the ball forward just a little bit. 3rd down here for the Regents.
30-yard line for Rockford.
3rd and 4 once again. The play that Hugert was just able to escape out of. On the snap, Hugert again gets some direction from his coach on the sideline. Big play for the Eureka defense, 3rd and 4. Fires to his right, there's a completion, good enough for a first down and more, and that will be a Regents touchdown. William Key with the catch.
Regents, 30 yards for the touchdown. Gage runner to William Key.
And just like that, 26 for Eureka, 20 for Rockford. Going for the extra point. Finistad lining himself up. I feel that. I feel that side. Oh boy. Waiting for the snap. Finistad. Kick is up, and it is no good.
Wide right.
Is no good in your score. Red Devils 26, Regents
So Eureka
20.
remains on top by 6, but there is still a 12.5-minute mark left to go in this ballgame. I mean, Eureka has to come up with something here. They cannot go 2-3 drives in a row without contributing.
Eureka College Red Devils football is made possible by City Blue Technologies of Peoria, an Epson distributor serving Central Illinois. Did you know that North America consumes around 100 million pounds of toner powder annually? This is the equivalent of more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles, 9.5 billion plastic bags, or 116 billion plastic straws. Epson now has precision core heat-free printing as an alternative to laser printers. Learn about sustainable printing solutions from City Blue Technologies at citybluetechnologies.com.
So both teams back out onto the field. Again, 12.5 left to go in quarter number 4. Eureka 26, Rockford 20. And you are listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell on the call. Eureka waiting for the kick. It is up. Isom is going to make the catch. He'll run forward across the 20, and he's going to be still on his feet, but now he will be pushed down.
And Tyrion Theodore with a kickoff return.
Sometimes it's a tongue twister, man. Sometimes you just read a little too far ahead.
It's better than what I did the other night. I just kept saying the wrong sport.
You also didn't learn your other broadcast partner's last name.
I do. In my defense, I have it. It's written down. I have it. I wrote it down. It's just a matter of getting it down in my mind. But it'll be first down here for Eureka. Warren on the snap. He's going to run to his left. He's in trouble.
Gotta get rid of it.
You just have to get rid of it. He fires anyways, and it's incomplete. That
pass is incomplete.
I mean, you're playing with fire on a play like that. You're in trouble. There's no need to pass forward. Just run out of bounds. You're by the sideline.
2nd and 10.
There's no need to
from the 29
to take that kind of risk. So it'll be 2nd down for Eureka again. I mean, they're going to have to do something here because the way Rockford's offense has been performing in the second half has been
There's no way the Red Devils will win the game unless they get another touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that's a must. Here's a handoff
up
the
middle.
That's
a big run up the middle, and that's what they needed.
To the 30, to the 20. It'll be a Eureka Red Devils touchdown.
71-yard touchdown run.
Right on cue. A 71-yard touchdown.
Sanders, huge gain. And that is exactly what we were talking about. That's the second time we've seen that space the Regents haven't been able to cover.
And lately in the second half, we haven't seen that space open up. It's been pretty clogged up the middle, but Ronnie Sanders wasting no time taking it to the house for 71 yards.
Looks like, again, they're going to go for 2. So here's Warren lined up. Waiting for the snap. He's going to fire. Looks up the middle, takes it himself. He's in trouble. To the left side, it'll be a 2-point conversion success. Delarian Rose with the catch.
Oh no.
And Warren is down on the ground. And he looks okay, maybe just taking it all in, catching a breath. But 32-20 Eureka.
Yeah, that kind of scared me a little bit. The way he went down looked like he busted an ankle or busted a knee or got clobbered on that play.
So Eureka making an appearance when it matters most, and they now lead it by 14. Just over 12 minutes left to go. And you can expect this to be a quick drive from Rockford. They just play after play want to get things done. But Eureka's kicking team out on the field. And again for Rockford, waiting to receive. 2 players in the backfield. Looks like William Key. Both teams ready. Here we go. Kick is up. This one directly to William Key. He makes the catch. Crosses the 30. Has some space at the sideline, and he'll be forced out of bounds around the 45-yard line in Regents territory.
Tackle on the return by number 25, Brandon Garner.
So again, a pretty decent game there for Rockford. Maybe a little too decent for Eureka's liking, but with that touchdown by Sanders, it gives the Red Devils some breathing room. Again, Hugert will be controlling the offense here. Waiting for the snap, getting some plays from his coach again. Here's the snap, 1st and 10. There's a handoff, Key to his left. He's going to be wrapped up, breaks free, and there he is. And a flag. That one will go against Eureka. Specifically, it looks like, I'm actually not really sure. Couldn't tell from up here who that was going to go.
That's easily going to be a holding, I do believe.
Yeah, it'll definitely go against Eureka. I couldn't get who it was.
Personal foul. Horse collar. Defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run. Automatic.
So it's going to go as a horse collar, as that kind of trails back to when Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott had a devastating injury a couple years ago. That
from the 36-yard line.
Called it a horse collar play that they're trying to get rid of to improve the safety of players and quarterbacks.
From the 36 in Red Devils territory, Hugert's going to take it himself up the middle, runs right, a lot of yardage to gain, and breaks free.
Flags are thrown everywhere.
Gage Huggert with the quarterback keeper. We've got a flag on the field.
A large gain, but there are multiple penalty markers on the field, as mentioned. And again, we're going to have to wait for the official call. If this is against Eureka, this will be huge for Rockford. Man, it just seems like they're moving the ball up the field so quick.
Black in the back. Offense, number 9. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
And it is against Rockford, so Eureka
10.
Catches a break here.
So that play immediately getting brought back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Regents. Here's a pass from Hugert, completion to Key.
And it looked like he might have had Key might have had more room to work with, but stepped out of bounds at about, I think, just above the 30-yard line.
This seems like a good time for that interception that I called a while back ago. This seems like it's a good time for that to kind of show up here. It'll be 2nd and 4 here for the Regents. Just over 11 minutes left to go. Hugert on the handoff running right for Rockford with a lot of space is Isaiah Graves. Good enough for a first down.
A little hard to intercept it when they run it for a first down.
It's okay. Hey, he'll pass.
Hugert's making a move. He is immediately
he's
ready
quick
to run the next play.
He knows exactly what he's doing. This time he does pass, and it's caught in between several Red Devils defenders. Seems like that would have been a good spot for that interception to come in play, but again, Rockford up the field very quickly inside the red zone.
Yeah, with 10.5 minutes left, Huger is on a mission to take the lead as soon as possible.
There's a pass deflected by
incomplete.
Jawan Evans.
Jawan Evans knocks down the pass. Second and goal.
Would have been a good spot for a catch as well. I mean, it's there. It's gonna be there. It's just a matter of time. So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Regents. 10 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Eureka up 34-20 here in quarter number 4. Huger waiting for the snap. There's a handoff up the middle, and it looks like Rockford thinks they got it. Wait for the call again. Isaiah Graves with the carry, and it'll be short, I believe.
Makes the tackle, stop short of the goal line.
Short at the 1.
2nd and 1. So Eureka's defense is going to have to step up here. Fans getting more into it here for the Regents. There's a handoff up the middle and a penalty marker.
So it's going to go as a false start against the offense, so that'll push them back.
Offense, number 3, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Again, Eureka catching a break. Clock stops at 9:56. But Drew, as you mentioned, the penalty will push them back. 3rd down for Rockford. Here's Huger on the snap. Handoff again. Graves up the middle, and he's going to be stopped.
Isaiah Graves, the ball carrier, tackled by Micah Gilchrist.
So it'll be 4th down. And Rockford going to have to go for it either way. Really no choice if they want to stay within reach of this game. 4th and 3. Here's Huger on the snap.
And that's going to go as another false start, I do believe, on the offense, as they'll get pushed back another 5 yards.
That's exactly right. I mean, everything going right for Eureka, but now you have to get this stop. You've had 2 mistakes from Rockford's side. Now you have to take advantage of those mistakes. You need a stop here. 4th and 8 for Rockford. Here we go. Both teams getting ready. Starks 0-1 against Rockford in his career with Eureka. He's directing traffic from the sideline. Ready for the snap. Huger looking downfield, fires right. Nearly picked off, but it is a stop for Eureka just when they needed it. What a defensive play. That, Drew, if he made that catch, I would have gone absolutely crazy. I mean, I felt like there was an interception coming. I don't know. Maybe I was just false alarm.
Yeah, Jawan Evans was in the mix, the freshman from Miami. But still, plenty of time for both teams to get a couple more scores on the board. Just a little under 9 minutes to go.
So you can imagine Eureka's just going to keep the ball on the ground and return to their first half game plan so that the clock can wind down. It'll be Darius Warren again on the handoff. Short gain for Eureka, but as mentioned, that'll allow the clock to
Ronnie
start
Sanders, the
ticking.
ball carrier, tackled by Ethan Rager.
Just under 8.5 left to go. Eureka leads it 34-20. Here again, this is the first conference game of the season for both sides, participating in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference.
Eddie, what message do you think that sends everybody in the NACC? What kind of message do you think that sends to them, seeing that Eureka may start 1-0
There is a
conference play.
completion from Warren. It'll be a gain of about 5. But Drew, to answer your question, I think the message that Eureka's sending is that they are not the same team as they were last year. Again, last year they didn't win a single game overall or in conference play. They were 0-10 overall, 0-8 in conference, and that just goes to show, like I said, they are not the same team that they were last year. They have new players. I believe, I think it was like 50-something%, maybe I'm wrong on that, but a large majority of their team is made up of freshmen right now. And the fact that Eureka is potentially going to be able to take 2 out of the first 3 of the season, that shows a lot from their team. Another handoff and another short gain for Eureka. Clock continuing to wind down as we begin to approach the 7-minute mark.
So coming up, it'll be 2nd and 8 on the Rockford.
2nd and 8 from the 20-yard line.
20-yard line.
Sorry, I'm just taking it all in. I mean, it's just so quiet here. You're not used. We're not usually used to it being quiet on the opponent's home field. Nothing to really cheer about here for Rockford. 6.5 left to go. Warren on 2nd and 8. There's another handoff running to his left, and he's going to be taken out of bounds. Decent gain there for Eureka.
Brandon Garner, the ball.
I was going to say, I believe that was Brandon Garner, who hasn't gotten a lot of action here in this game, but starting to step up. And
yeah, these last couple of games we haven't, or excuse me, the last game we did not see BG at all. We saw him a little bit in the Lincoln Bowl game, but this is, like you said, first appearance we've seen from him so far this afternoon. So good to see him get some action, some playing time this afternoon.
Clock just under 6 minutes. Eureka at 3rd down and 2 on their own 26. Here's a handoff from Warren, and again to the left. Eureka thinks they have a first down. We'll wait for the signal.
Ronnie Sanders gets the handoff.
Sanders on the carry.
By Antonio Buchanan and Nashon Brown.
And it looks like they're just shy of a first down. 4th and 1 to be exact. Going for it. Pushing forward, and
I think they got it.
Eureka has got the first down.
Quarterback keeper, tackled by Nashon
That's a play that
Brown.
Warren is, some might say, starting to perfect.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line.
So the Eureka fans get a little bit more into it as we approach the 5-minute mark. Again, Eureka up 34-20, and you're listening to EC 103.1 live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Matthew Swan, Drew Donnell here on the call.
Yeah, that's what the Red Devils need, because the more time they're able to waste time on the clock and keep the ball on the ground is.
Another handoff from Warren, and again, not much to show for it for Eureka, but Drew, like you just mentioned, clock winding down, and that's the main focus right now for Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka doesn't need much. They just need to, if they keep on getting first downs, they're keeping the ball on the ground, that's obviously awesome. If they get another touchdown, that's even more awesome. But all you're really looking to do here is just keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock running out, and then the more the clock runs out, that is pretty much sealing the deal for the Red Devils.
Well, that touchdown from Sanders a couple drives ago, that was huge. I think that was a huge momentum killer against Rockford. Here's a handoff again, a lot of purple and maroon on the floor. And it looks like a huge takedown from Rockford.
We've honestly seen some pretty long touchdowns today. We saw freshman Brian Humes with a 65-yard touchdown. We saw Ronnie Sanders with a 71-yard touchdown.
Like I said, this is a completely different Eureka team from last year. That doesn't take away from the fact that, there are going to be some games like last week against Westminster where, they might have some trouble executing on offense and defense, but that's why they come back the following week and put on a performance like this one. Warren on 3rd down, firing deep, And it'll be complete and still on his feet for Eureka. Carter down the field to his right, inside the 10, and it'll be a Eureka touchdown.
And this ball game is over.
That will end it. That is going to finalize the outcome of this game. Amarion Carter, that was a deep pass from Warren to Carter, and the connection is successful. Eureka, 40 points, and again, you can imagine they're most likely going to maybe go for 2 here.
And Maddie, this is by far the highest scoring game we've seen combined from both teams, but we've never seen the Red Devils put up 40, let alone 30 before.
I was just going to comment on that too. That's very impressive. Going for 2, Warren, and he's just going to spike that one into the ground. Probably.
Yeah, they got rushed a little bit with the play clock as they were down to 1 second. Didn't really have time to assess the situation.
Yeah, that was probably the smartest choice there from Eureka.
I don't think you or I expected Warren to go deep on that play, considering that they honestly really didn't need to go deep. They were pretty much in a good position already, even if they went a 3 and out.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, they've just been putting the ball on the ground throughout that entire drive until that very last play. But hey, we'll take it. This is actually the highest scoring game from Eureka since September 2nd of 2023. Again, that's when they hosted Knox in the Lincoln Bowl. They won that one 41-16. So yeah, just a fun fact there. 3 minutes to go. Eureka leads it 40-20. Again, that'll most likely wrap things up here, but Rockford is going to return. It'll be Key with the catch. He's going to take it right across the 30, finding some room, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down just shy of the 50-yard line. 2:52 left to go.
Tackle on the return by number 51, Fernando Alcantara.
Hey, that was a good move from Carter, though, on the catch. He most likely could have just given up on the play. He made the catch, though. Kind of did a little shift to the right to break free from the defender, and then he just followed that path all the way down into the end zone. Lot of standout highlights from multiple Eureka players in this game. There's the connection, Hugert to Key, who spins and is tackled down for another short gain. It'll be second down. Flatter continuing to wind
A really
up.
good point that you made, and that was something that I was, usually, we ask each other, who do you think, who do you think is the player of the game for so-and-so? And I truly think that there really is none, because this is the true definition of a team effort. Even with the lows that the Red Devils had when it seemed like they're acting a little, kind of lackadaisical per se, they really picked it up in these last 10 minutes.
There's another completion from Hugert to Key, and again, looks like it'll be just short of the first down, although they're moving the chains down the field. But to player of the game, Eureka.
That about sums it up right there.
Yeah, so we approach the 2-minute warning here. This one again, Eureka up 40, Rockford 20. I mean, yeah, there's not really much to add. Eureka has been in charge for the majority of the game. In the first half, they led 26-0 by the end. Third quarter, Rockford was able to tack on 2 touchdowns to make it a 26-14 game. And then here in the fourth quarter, Eureka again with a couple touchdowns that really sealed the deal, and that is most likely going to be how they walk out of this one as winners. That's hard too, being on the road and being able to put up 40 points.
And especially after being on a long road trip last Saturday in Fulton, Missouri, losing 29-6, a huge bounce-back game.
So both teams ready to continue this fourth quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for Rockford Ball on the 42 in Eureka territory. Hugert breaking free. He's just going to take it himself up the middle. A lot of space. And he's going to be brought down. First down and more for the Regions.
Tackled by Brian Burns, but that's good for Regents.
Again, if you're able to pick that up, Burns with the tackle, but a minute 45 left to play. Hugert continuing to move things down the field pretty quickly. In trouble again, fires to his right on the run, and no good. It'll be incomplete.
Tim Bearden. 2nd and 10.
I'm actually surprised it hasn't rained since the pregame.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna pour out here, but thankfully it's held up so far.
Our technology is saved. Here it is, 2nd and 10. Hugert with a completion, and it looks like maybe that'll be just shy of the first down for the Regions. Nick James with the catch, and there is an injured Red Devil down on the floor. It looks like Starks.
Officials timeout for an injury.
A lot of leg injuries in this one.
Yeah, there's been at least 3 or 4 for each team, it seems like.
So while he is receiving some attention, clock stops at a minute 24. Again, I believe that'll be 3rd down for Rockford after the completion. Very quiet here at Rockford. It's almost too quiet. I mean, it's just dead silent.
Yeah, we really don't know what the severity of the injury is, but not much movement. All you can just do is hope for the best for Starks.
Yeah, this one seems a little more severe than the previous injuries we have encountered. Starks taking a lot more time to get up, and yeah, you can tell. Maybe he is good. He gets up under his own power, and he's going to take a light jog off the field. So glad to see that he's doing okay, and both sides will, again, make their way out onto the field and resume play. A minute 24, Eureka 40, Rockford 20. So Hugert, ball on the 19 in Red Devils territory. It'll be 3rd down and 3. On the snap, Hugert again running right, fires on the run, completion, and stepping out of bounds for Rockford is going to be Bearden again, but it is a 1st down for Rockford. Good move by Bearden to step out and stop the clock. Not that it really matters at this point. Here we are again, running to his left, firing just over the head of William Key.
Pass is incomplete, intended for William Key.
It'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
What you say?
Clock at 1:09.
No, I'm talking about offense.
The Regents sideline directing the play calling. Again, Hugert taking his time a little bit more than we're used to. Here's a snap on 2nd and 10. Hugert fires to the left.
Intercepted!
And it's picked off. There's the interception I was looking for. It'll be Gilchrist down the field, and it'll be taken down just past the 40. What'd I say, Drew? What'd I say? I knew it.
With that interception, that'll for sure wrap up the game as the Red Devils and Warren can take a knee and let the clock run out from there.
That penalty's declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
There was a flag on the offense, but that does not matter. and that'll push the Red Devils to a 2-1 record on the season and a 1-0 record in conference play.
See, it was just a matter of time.
Eureka takes over first.
I'm telling you, it's the shirt.
You might have to. You're gonna have to wear that next week. I mean, it's just no. See, that's the move from now on. Every game of the season. But I can't promise that I'll wear a black polo every game because it gets pretty hot.
By all means, if I got to do all the work with the shirt that I wear, then that's just what I'm going to have to do.
Thank you for taking the sacrifice. True hero. So 49 seconds left on the clock, and Drew, like you said, that will most likely close things out as Eureka most likely going to take a knee and let the clock wind down to 0. And so that is exactly what Eureka does. And again, that is going to wrap things up here. Eureka going to walk away with a win. 40-20 is the final. Darius Warren stepped up huge. Eureka, like I said earlier, started early from in the very beginning with a touchdown, 6-0. First drive of the game. They set the tone early, continued to hold on. Rockford started to have a little bit of a comeback in the third quarter, but Eureka here late in the fourth adds on to their point total, comes up clutch. A lot of players that stand out. Drew, is there anything you want to mention?
Hum now, devs. Hum devs. Hum devs. No, but in all seriousness, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong in terms of letting the game slip away. We saw it a lot. We talked about it a lot last year where as soon as, even if it was a field goal, a safety, or, an interception, whatever it may have been last year, we would have saw, like, the wheels fall off pretty early. But the defense, there's definitely a lot of contributions on defense that they made to make sure that the offense didn't get ahead of themselves, or they didn't try to move too fast. Then the game is really moving, and they just really stayed in control the whole game.
Yep, again, final score, Eureka 40, Rockford 20, and as always, that will wrap things up here with Matthew Swan and Drew Donnell. Our next broadcast of Eureka College football will be next Saturday, September 20th, when Eureka hosts Aurora University. You can listen to that broadcast right here on EC 103.1. Coverage will begin at 6 p.m. live from the City Blue Technologies broadcast booth. Again, Eureka College football is made possible by City Blue Technologies, a leading Epson dealer serving Central Illinois. The executive producer of Eureka College is Dr. John Malone. Tonight's studio operator, also Dr. John Malone. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Drew Donnell, this is Matthew Swan. Thank you guys for listening.
I'm so gone. Anyone could see that I'm wasted. You cut through, and I just wanna know what's in your head.